Alright, chat, welcome back to Matchday Report. This is going to be an ugly one, as you probably anticipated. I'm going to try and keep it semi-short and sweet because I am hanging the fuck out of my ass and my voice hurts when I speak, so I'm going to, try and abbreviate as much as I can. So it'll be a bit of a shorter one, hopefully, but we'll find out. So, Watford 5, Preston 1. Things looked really bright at the start of the game, when we had 14 shots, 8 on target in the first half, which for us, that's normally what we get in a game. So to come out at full time as well with 20 shots and 10 of them being on target, I'm quite pleased with it. It shows a little bit more intent and confidence and desire to get going forward and start trying to score more goals and whatnot. But it just wasn't to be, and then obviously Will Keane's goal was absolutely fucking magnificent if you haven't seen it. But yes, this will leave us now in 8th with Watford literally on our asses. So it's just going to continue to get harder and harder and harder to keep reaching for that playoff, place. The table's just really tight, and it's incredibly difficult for anybody at this stage to, take a loss and not be able to get back up or back down. So, like I say, it is what it is, but we'll soon see how it pans out. I guess we're like nearly halfway through the season now. We've got 2 more games and we're at the halfway mark. So after Leeds at home, that'll be that halfway mark, and that's when I'll start asking for some opinions from supporters. Right, player ratings: Woodman a 4. Tough day at the office, let down by defending for some goals. Got a hand to buy your second, but couldn't keep it out. Story of 4, so an early header saved brilliantly by him, or whatever you say. Fell apart defensively in the second half as Watford came through a will. One more 6, recovered well to heroically block by your shot after he rounded Woodman. Slightly caught out for Watford's first half leveller, made way just before the hour. I thought he was really good. He absolutely kept us in the game in the first half in places. Lindsay a 4, played a lovely pass to Miller which led to Keane's goal. Second half was a disaster defensively and the Scot was poor for some of the goals. Potts a 6, so 2 big chances go begging. Must have thought he'd fired in the opening goal during the first half, then saw a strike from point blank range, kept out before being subbed off. Yeah, to be honest with you, it was one of those games where when you look at the chances we actually had on any other day, it could have potentially, been really, like, the first half could have been like 2-2, 3-3, 3-2, 2-3, whatever. There was so many like chances that went begging in the first half. For both sides really. I was looking like the better chances as well, so that's why when we went in 1-1 at half time I was relatively optimistic for what's to come. But obviously it's Preston and I should know better. Whiteman a 6, didn't do too badly in midfield but was replaced on the 58th minute. McCann a 5, competed well enough in the first half, but Watford went on to completely dominate the midfield. Corn got away from him so easily for the 5th. Miller a 6.5, caused Dele Bashiru problems on the left, provided a great assist for Keane. The only real bright spark, even if those were some loose moments. Moved over to the right second half and his impact waned, which was a very, very poor choice. But I'll give my deep dive in a sec. Round of 5, started well, created some chances from crosses. While intense in his work, has to take his share of responsibility for what happened in the second half. Will Keane 6.5, couple of opportunities before his opener, which was wonderfully taken. One of the quarter to be hooked after came. Oh, okay. So basically, one of the people to come off after the 3rd goal. Osman H5 didn't have much to feed off on his return to the team. Bar a snapshot in the first half. Was a willing runner, but a dare to forget. Brady's 5.5, introduced just before the hour and sent some crosses into the box. Almost scored his first goal for Preston in stoppage time with a free kick towards the top left corner, and it was a very good free kick, mind you. I was quite wowed by their keeper. Their keeper kept them in the game for a lot, and I mean a lot of the game. Man of the match for me personally is their keeper. Hughes a 5, brought on to allow Lindsay to move into the middle, but the 4 changes didn't work. A tough 30 minutes. Evans a 5, wasn't able to impact the game at all off the bench, despite putting himself about. And Dueno buzzed around and got the ball, but the game was a long one. Alright, so I'll read this in a minute, but before I read this, obviously Twitter right now, highly toxic. The Lolart Brigade is back in full force, and I can see why. And now don't get me wrong, like I've always said, I do like Ryan Law. I don't really have many problems with him, because when he gets it right, he's a likeable figure. However, at the same time, he's very reluctant to take responsibility for anything, and he believes that his tactics genuinely seem to be spot on most of the time, and it's just the players that aren't implementing or the application, but it's such a baffling take to me, because you're the manager You have to control what goes on that pitch. You have to change the game plan if it's not working. They came on the second half, changed things up a little bit. We made an awful kickoff as well, by the way. Like, what we did to change and what they did to change, we dropped and they flew, basically, so, you know. And then to make the 4 substitutions he made, which were to take off XYZ player, which were not only pretty decent defensively, but also had the ability to get us forward a bit more. You know, we're trying to chase a game 3-1 down, and you're taking off our more creative players in favour for players such as like Brady and Evans, which is, don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with like Evans or who else came on, like Brady and Holmes. I think Holmes and Evans are great players, but you know, taking off Potts and bringing on Brady to swap Miller to the other side, even though he's like, you know, he's a natural on his natural side, which I believe is the right or the left, whatever. Like, wherever Miller plays, that's where he should be, not swapped, because he clearly had he had nowhere near as much influence. So it was a very, very stupid choice, that, especially when Miller's trying to keep us in the game. Anyways. Law said, I think we were fantastic in the first half, continuing where we left off, and I agree we were the better team in the first half. We were on the front foot, scored a good goal, maybe could have scored a few more. Going in at half time, we were thinking whether we could get back on the front foot and do the right things, which didn't materialise. From our kick-off, we don't challenge, the ball comes back and forth, and then one ball through the middle of us kills us off. It's a one-on-one with Lindsay, we don't deal well with it, and it took the stuffing out of him. You need to, I know it's Christmas time, but he's been saying that so much recently. It's then gone 3-4-5, and there's possibility it could have been another one, but ultimately that can't happen at any level because you will be punished by the good players. And that certainly was the case. We got punished big time. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not a worry. I've stressed that with the players, we can't go from being very good defensively and solid against a good team in Norwich, then go away to Huddersfield and performing the way we did to that second half. That is a worry. I have stressed that with the players. They need to take responsibility for that. Yeah, but you also need to take responsibility for the tactics that you implemented in the second half, because the first half you got it bob on, and then to switch it up the way you did in the second half to a more negative style of play, for whatever reason, and not change it when you're 3-1 down, you just sit on the fucking, you know, the dugout with your hand on your chin thinking, fuck, what do I do now? Yes, the players underperformed in the second half. You know, as soon as we concede again, and then again, the second goal, you know, it sort of like, it shook us, and the third goal definitely just winded us to the point where we just couldn't be arsed and we thought the game was gone. You know, there was no intent to chase the game at that point. But again, nothing was changed from a managerial standpoint. We need to address that. We all do collectively. There's no blame culture. I'm not saying it was his fault or anything like that. What I'm saying is that individually and collectively, we've got to make sure it doesn't happen again. And how that doesn't happen is by people pulling people around on the pitch. 3-1, we obviously made changes to get more attacking players on the pitch. Brady over Potts, are you serious? Okay. Which left us a bit more open. But you still got to be solid and compact and hard to break down. We weren't that at all, hence they got another few goals. I think sometimes we just don't have the confidence to really pick ourselves up once the second or third goal is in. Right, well, you need to sort that out, don't you? You need to start telling them, like, you can chase the game at any point. The game's never dead. One of the lads in there said that we stopped doing the nitty-gritty bits, we stopped making blocks. That is what we do, but we just haven't done that. We haven't got up to the ball, we dropped off. We can be expansive, but still get your blocks away and put your body on the line, which they did. They went to have a back five once they got 3 up and we made the changes, which is what people do. I don't know where it has come from, because to perform the way we did in the first half, a lot of people probably say it was the best performance this season for 40 minutes until they scored. I can agree, it was one of our better performances, if not the best. To then come out and concede that goal, which is a gimmick, isn't it? You don't see that on Sunday football, so maybe that's the mentality I sort of have to change so it doesn't happen again. But okay. You got to be solid, resolute, hard to break down. We know that, sure. We definitely were not. We have to get them in on Monday, debrief it, discuss it. I won't tell you what one or two have said, but they put their hands up and said they could have done this or that, which is pleasing for me because they are a good, honest group. It'll always stick by them and believe in them. I was quite calm and collected. There is no point. I'm not into all that, and I don't want to be screaming and shouting. When I first came here, I shouted many times because I wanted them to know what I was about as a person, my character, and what I'm trying to achieve. That is my group of players, and I'll stand by them. When we concede, you are a bit unsure what the reaction is going to be, whether that's from them or the fans. I shouted many times because I wanted them to know what I was about as a person, my character, and what I am trying to achieve. No one gives a fuck about what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to take us to the next level. For your own personal career, yes, I know you want to be a more hardened manager, someone that can take teams through the league like you have done in the past. But it's not about your progression as a manager. This whole operation, it's about taking us to the next level whilst benefiting yourself. That's a shocking statement. It's always tough. I thought the fans were a different class, even at 3-1 down. We didn't really say anything. When the fourth goes in, it becomes a poison chalice and the place empties. We know that and understand that. We just haven't found that consistency in form, so that tells you aren't going to get where you want to. But we'll just keep trying to do the right thing. Second half where we can see the goal, I don't even know where it's come from. So I'm going to have to do a lot of work with the players to find out. But I know they are an honest group, and I have to keep believing in them and sticking with them because they've proven they can do that. But it's about time you have a bit of honesty. This is a second bit of press he did, talking about by an ugly trait in the Watford defeat. I just thought it'd be worth a read. Ugly trait. I don't know what it is. I would probably be in the Premier League if I did, but I'm not. Okay. That is why I'm still learning. My players are still learning, and the coaches. It's a mentality thing of pulling people around. What exactly is he being addressed here? Law spoke about adopting a stronger team mentally towards the end of our season, so he's disappointed to still be questioning in this campaign. Are we really talking about the fact that, like, the mentality of the players? Okay. Anyways, we speak to the players daily about organisation, communication. That is nothing to do with tactical information. The tactics side of things, when they do them right, they win games of football 9 times out of 10, or collect a point. I think once we've conceded the second goal, it's knocking the stuffing out of us because it went 3 and 4 quickly, and then 5 and potentially another one. We kept going, trying to do the right thing and get the ball in the box, but they will never not try. They're always trying, and that pleases me. That they're still giving it their all. They're not though. But sometimes quality in certain areas doesn't work, and decision making in certain areas definitely doesn't work. So we could have done better when we were attacking for them to counter attack and score goals. I think 3 of the goals were similar to a counter attack off the top of my head. That needs addressing, yeah. Interesting. The first half against Watford was like a basketball match, end to end, with several chances for both teams. Northend played out the highest expected goals first half of any championship game this season, and Law was comfortable with being that feel onto the match. Yeah, I was fine with us first half because we needed to be on the front foot, put on a show and get them about. You need to do that all the time. You were talking about it. Looking a bit different on Tuesday, and when we went with the same shape with 2 eights and 2 strikers. Keno had a great chance, and Potts had a great chance before we scored. Keeper made a great save from Jordan's header. They are moments. They are the moments, aren't they? If they go in, would it be different? Of course, it would be different. But the second half performance was nowhere near the levels. Then they got expansive and were trying to pull people around, but it was too late. They went to a back 5 when we made our 4 subs. Jack was tiring a bit and cramping up, so the message was to get him off. I just felt to get Chad on and get some crosses in the box. Whiteman had been booked, so we got him off and put Ali in there. We got Robbie on. I think Ali McCann did well, all things considered. And then we got Brady and Dwayne on to run at them. You don't put Robbie fucking Brady on to run at people. That's not what he does. Sometimes that can leave you a bit exposed, and maybe it did for one of the goals, but at 3-1 you're not going to sit there and leave it. You have to change something, and we put in a few good balls into the box. We just didn't capitalise. It's no, that's not, no. No, you fucking did not. You got it wrong in the second half. Yeah, that's your game plan. You wanted to bring on a more attacking centric thing, but just admit that it didn't fucking work. You don't have to say, oh well, we tried this and we tried that, but we just didn't take the chances. No, it just didn't work at all. We was nowhere near the level in the second half at any point. But yeah, Northend's 8th defeat in 14, and the 14th time this campaign that Libya Whites have conceded the 4th, not 14th. They conceded 4 more goals, with the last occasion at Middlesbrough on November 28th. Law shows the heavy defeats do not get easier to take. They are hard, and again, I take full responsibility. Okay, thank you for saying that. I am the manager. My hands are up, and the players do as well. It's hard for the fans. I know it spoils the weekend, it spoils mine, but we are not sitting here 3rd or 4th from bottom. We know where we are. Well, we know what we are and what we've got to try and achieve. I'm trying to push and get every little bit of that out of these players. I'll continue to do that because it's important. I've just got to keep working hard with my staff because the staff feel hard done by when we lose. It's all of us. We have 50 odd people probably working at the training ground. It hurts everyone. You go in Monday morning and people are scared to say morning or hello to you because it affects us all. It affects the fans more because they pay their money. We get that. We get the frustration. Of course we do. But we've just got to keep plodding along, collecting as many points. That's not a great mentality as well. Just keep plodding along. You need to, like, sort your shit out and figure out what's going wrong. But I appreciate him saying here, I take full responsibility, I am the manager. I know at the end of the game he didn't do a lap of applause like he normally does with the players. He went straight down the tunnel with his hands up. A lot of people interpreted that as him saying calm down. With the way he was moving his hands about, they interpreted that as calm down. But to me, it didn't look like calm down. It looked like he just walked off with his hands up. Obviously, it was just frequently putting them up and down, which, again, I can understand why that's misinterpreted, but to me, at any point, it did not look like he was telling us to calm down, based on the boos when he were walking off the pitch, because those boos were well deserved. I don't agree with booing your players, and I don't agree with booing your staff and whatnot, especially your own football team, but like you say, yesterday was absolutely fucking miles off the mark, so I can understand why it happened, and it happens every now and then, but to have 4 heavy defeats like that this season already, 4 results like that, and we're not even halfway through the season yet, it's pretty concerning. It needs to be sorted, so hopefully we can regroup, go again for Swansea next week, and things can be different, but there's absolutely no guarantee of anything being different, and that's the only problem. So, hopefully it gets sorted, and hopefully, we can collect ourselves, because if we don't, we're going to have some serious fucking problems. But anyways, I'll sign off, because I need to go and, sort my shit out, because I'm absolutely fucked. So, yeah, thanks for listening in. Poor result, we know, and hopefully it doesn't happen again next week. So, yeah, I'll see you all next week when we cover the Swansea game. Take care.